At its peak, the Roman Empire functioned as a vast logistical network. Every decision flowed through a single hub, Rome. This centralization was a defense against internal coups. To prevent generals from seizing power, the emperor maintained a legal monopoly on commanding major wars. This created a physical impossibility. A single human being cannot march to the borders of Scotland and the deserts of Mesopotamia simultaneously. Rome's sudden vulnerability in the 3rd century stemmed from this leadership bottleneck, leaving the entire system prone to paralysis. In the forests of Germania, a population boom and the mass production of standardized iron weapons changed the threat landscape. Scattered tribes organized into massive, lethal multi-ethnic leagues. Simultaneously, the Eastern Front ignited. The Sasanian Persians, under aggressive new kings, began launching coordinated campaigns into Roman territory. The ruins of Dura Europos provide evidence of Sasanian military expertise. They utilized organized tunneling and deployed sulfur gas to suffocate Roman defenders behind these desert walls. By 235 AD, the Roman military reached a breaking point. Frontline troops murdered Emperor Severus Alexander because he lacked the speed to counter these incursions effectively. This assassination triggered 50 years of civil war, acting as a desperate failsafe to protect the borders when the central authority failed to respond. As the center failed, frontier armies took survival into their own hands, declaring their own generals as emperors. This was a logistical necessity. The title of emperor provided legal authority to mint currency and pay troops without waiting for a remote, distracted capital. Consequently, the empire fractured into splinter states as regional leaders prioritized immediate defense over loyalty to a paralyzed central government. The relentless internal conflicts of this era were a direct consequence of provinces struggling to survive on their own. Emperor Valerian attempted to reassert control by personally leading a massive, multicultural Roman army to the Eastern Front. He was defeated at Edessa and taken captive by King Shapur I, an unprecedented failure, the first time a Roman emperor was ever captured alive. Rumors of his humiliation spread quickly, claiming Shapur used Valerian as a footstool to mount his horse, while the emperor's captured legions were sent east into hard labor. Captured Roman engineers were forced to build infrastructure deep in Persian territory, such as the Bandi Kaisar Dam, which still stands today. Valerian's capture demonstrated that the single emperor model was effectively obsolete against peer-level adversaries. In 284 AD, Diocletian assumed power and approached the crisis as an architectural problem rather than a lack of military might. He realized the modern landscape was too vast and the threats too lethal for any single human leader to manage. His solution, the Tetrarchy, split executive power among 4 separate rulers, 2 senior and 2 junior emperors. These statues of the Tetrarchs project the new ideology, matching dress, identical weapons, and a physical embrace to signal absolute unity. This redundancy transformed a fragile single point of failure into a resilient, decentralized leadership network. Diocletian physically moved the center of power out of Rome and onto the frontiers. 4 new operational capitals were established directly adjacent to the most active war zones: Trier, Milan, Sirmium, and Nicomedia. The massive Porta Nigra gate in Trier stands as a physical testament to the military investment poured into these forward operating headquarters. With the emperor stationed directly on the front lines, an authorized commander was always available to mobilize a rapid response. The 3rd century crisis represents a brutal, successful evolution of a political machine forced to adapt to a dangerous